So, where were you before you began working on tourism for Palau?
This is actually my first job out of college. So I knew I had always wanted to work in international travel. So when the opportunity to work with Palau came up, I jumped on it.
And what about Palau enticed you to work with their tourism campaigns?
Palau is a beautiful country, and they have a lot of diverse wildlife that's unique to the country itself. And my dad was a high school biology teacher as I was growing up, so I was always surrounded by conversation about the environment and different ecosystems. So when I was able to transfer there and explore a more tropical environment with such diverse species, as opposed to growing up in upstate New York, it was just a great opportunity for me to be more involved in the ecosystems there as well.
Okay. So, who is your target audience, and why did you select them as your target audience for this campaign specifically?
Sure. Our target audience is, I'm sorry, I'm going to start that over. Okay. Our target audience is engaged couples who are looking to do a destination wedding, as well as honeymooners, recent newlyweds. And we chose this because Palau is a very romantic destination, and throughout our research we found that destination wedding couples were looking for mostly tropical places, and we also offer a lot of wedding packages already that contribute to the convenience of the planning, because it's hard to plan destination weddings, especially when you're not there to have conversations and see the venue in person. So we figured our packages that we already had established would really help facilitate that decision-making process and make the whole process very convenient for those types of people.
And so people would say there's a lot of tropical places. Palau is small, hard to get to. So what exactly separates Palau that makes it a must-visit destination compared to some of your competitors?
A lot of our competitors, especially tropical locations that are more close to the United States, like Hawaii, we are different than them because Palau is farther away and harder to get to, and therefore not as many people go there. So we have a little bit more privacy on our island. It's still romantic, still tropical, and we really want to encourage that the romance is enhanced by the amount of privacy. We just don't have as many visitors all at once as places like Hawaii do, and so we really are pitching that intimacy, that privacy, as well as our cultural richness. Palau has a really rich cultural background, and we want to encourage couples to explore that while they're with us.
Okay. What is something about Palau that the average person might not know that they would want to know going into their visit?
Something that people visiting Palau might not know would be that they actually share the United States currency. We use the US dollar in Palau, so it makes travel very easy for United States citizens because they don't have conversion rates to get used to or figuring out a new form of currency, especially when planning for your wedding or honeymoon, because budgets are definitely very important for those decisions. So that just makes it very easy for visitors.
So you mentioned the biodiversity, the natural beauty of Palau. How have climate change and pollution impacted that, and do you see that becoming a challenge to tourism in the country?
Because Palau is such a diverse place as far as animals and plants and the ecosystems go, climate change and pollution does have a great impact, because that is one of our big selling points, is our environment. So we actually in 2016 had a bit of a crisis with our jellyfish, the golden jellyfish species, which is native to Palau, and we have an attraction where visitors can swim with the jellyfish because their sting is relatively painless. So that's a really cool experience for people to get to do. And in 2016, populations were starting to decline, so we had to stop those visiting and swimming with the jellyfish, and we evaluated what was going on in the ecosystem, and once we figured out what it was, we have, and waited for the populations to replenish, obviously, and we deemed that it's safe under new guidelines that we have determined. So making sure any sunscreen products are all natural and environmentally friendly, making sure everyone is fully cleansed before entering the water so that we can get rid of any pathogens or dangerous species and germs that the jellyfish are not used to. So we're in the process of making that much easier to handle, and things are going well so far.
So obviously every tourist destination, travel destination has its pros and cons, threats, benefits. What would you say is the biggest threat to Palau? We've discussed pollution, environmental crises, its size, distance. What would you say? Is it one of those, or is there something more?
Sure. I think one of the biggest challenges and threats to attracting tourists to Palau is the distance, especially because we are aiming for United States citizens to come to us. It is a pretty pricey plane ticket, which is unfortunate, but we are really working towards making the experience on the island much more affordable. We are aiming towards upper middle class individuals, so we're hoping that by subsidizing the on-island attractions, we have several free attractions, very reasonably priced attractions and experiences to do. So if we make that side more affordable, the stay itself, hopefully people will be able to afford a little pricier plane ticket, and we're working to figure that all out.
Okay, so you mentioned the price. Is there any other way you plan to compete with other island countries that are geographically closer to your target audience?
I think as far as handling places that are geographically closer, a lot of it is the privacy initiative that we are trying to encourage, as well as recently people in today's day and age are looking for the Instagrammable photos, the aesthetically pleasing pictures, and are looking to set trends and be those new adapters, So we're really looking for to appeal to the trendsetter initiative, I guess you could say, because not a lot of people have visited Palau, so it's always cool to be the first to have done that. United States citizens, because Hawaii is the closest tropical location, you could say, people are more likely to know people who have visited Hawaii, and so by going to Palau, it's a new experience that people can talk about and get other people excited about, that they've done something first.
And so, what would you say is Palau's biggest asset when it comes to trying to draw people on the flip side of the negatives?
Sure. Biggest asset. I do think one of Palau's biggest assets is that it is exactly what honeymooners and destination wedding planners are looking for. It's a tropical location, it's very romantic, it's beautiful and aesthetically pleasing, it has that added bonus of privacy, and you can use the US currency. So I think all of those building up to each other, as well as it being pretty environmentally sustainable, we have to, upon arrival, tourists have to sign a pledge saying that they will work to help maintain the environmental cleanliness of the environment. So we're hoping that all of those initiatives and the sustainability aspect, as well as what people are looking for in honeymoons, will join together and really encourage tourists to come here.
And so you mentioned sort of the environmental initiatives looking to become sustainable, but how do you plan on balancing that with the attempt to stimulate your economy through tourism, drawing all this attention to Palau and drawing all this traffic through it?
I don't see the initiatives of trying to become more environmentally and sustainable, as well as attracting tourists, as a balancing act, really. I see it more as a cooperative effort, because we are inviting, I'm sorry, let's wait for the geese. Okay. I don't really see the sustainability efforts and the tourism efforts as something that needs to be balanced. I see them more as a cooperative effort, because when tourists come, like I said, they sign the pledge saying that they will help to maintain the environmental cleanliness, as well as the sustainability efforts can be a selling point to bring in newlyweds and people who are looking to have sustainable weddings. That's really exciting. So we're actually working, I think both of those things can be pursued individually and independently by their respective teams, and can come together to really be mutually beneficial.
Right, thank you very much.
Thank you.